In this video, we're going to look at the installation, project generation, and overview of Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci is a free piece of software, but it has a paid for more pro level version. However, the free version has all the features that we need to be able to produce really high quality video. The reason for choosing this over other options that are out there is it's quite a standard within the industry. It's comparable to Final Cut Pro and Premiere in terms of the feature set that it has. There are also ways of passing projects to and from those different platforms. And also it's available on Windows, OS X and on Linux too. So it's the easiest one to access no matter what OS you're running yourself. To download the software, you just go to the Blackmagic Design website, go to download, pick the OS that you're going to run this on, and then enter some brief details in order to get the download. Once you've installed the software, the first time you open up DaVinci Resolve, it will scan your entire plugin library. So depending on what audio plugins you have, it might take a while to first boot up. And then you'll be greeted with Project Manager. So Project Manager is basically your front end for creating the all-encompassing project system. Within a project can be various different timelines, so different edits of different videos, but the project is where you case all the videos you want to work within a specific project. So for instance, if I go to new project now and I just call this my first edits, I go to create. That will then take us into the main GUI in terms of Resolve. And what we want to do before we start working with importing clips and so on, which we'll do soon, is basically decide what we're going to actually run this project at. So there's two different ways to choose how we can do the project settings, either from the file menu or we can go to this little icon down here which does the same thing. Now, depending on what the requirements are for the video you're creating, you can choose the actual resolution itself here. I'm going to work at 1920 to 1080, so HD. The reason for that is if I go to my files that I've shot already, both of the actual devices I've used for capturing were set to be the same because I'm working in multicam, and they're running at 1920 by 1080. And they're also been set to run at 30 frames per second. So I just want to make sure that everything's matched, so it just runs as true as possible to the original capture. So the resolution at the top, frame rate next, and then click save. Your projects themselves will have data in a few different places. The data you import into your project, unless you intervene, will live in the original location that it was taken from. If we go to project settings again, and we just go down to the bottom of the optimized media section and so on, we can see that there's a location for other types of files, which we'll get to later on and why we'd want to create those files. But they're mainly based in the movies section of your drive, and unless you really have a reason to, I wouldn't recommend moving the location of any of these directories. So saving can be manually done at any point you feel you need to, save as if you want to change a new version. But if you go to preferences, we go to project save and load in the user tab, live save is enabled by default. So as soon as you've created your project, there'll be a consistent backup of the project data. Before I go into the software overview, I'm just going to go to the workspace menu and choose full screen. And if you want to disable the full screen, you go and disable it from the same place. So the main GUI of DaVinci Resolve is based around a panel system. And we can have a different view of what's in view at any point, but the main sections that we see are the panels themselves. So we have a media view, which is a full media view. We have a media storage view here, which can run alongside other views too. We have an actual cutting room where we can alter the actual properties of specific clips. We have an edit part of the package, which is basically our timeline. We have the fusion area, which is all about additional things we can add in and create within DaVinci Resolve. Color correction and balance can be done within this section, and also white balance is where we'll come to do that type of thing. We have the Fairlight suite, which is about audio balancing, mixing and processing as well. And we have our delivery section, which is how we can get our edited and compiled video work out of DaVinci Resolve and ready to send to wherever we want it to once it's finished. So I'm now going to import a video just to show a few more of the main layout options. So I can drag this straight into the media pool itself, or I could drag it directly into the timeline and work that way as well. Just zoom out for a minute. Zoom, by the way, is Alt up and down with the trackpad, or Command plus and minus when you're working on OS X. So the main view should be familiar if you've ever seen a video editing package before. We have a video aspect at the top, and then we have the audio aspect at the bottom. We have a source view, which we can turn on and off by using the split view here. Source is the materials that are on the left before you actually edit them or have them in view. And then we have the output of our timeline, which is on the right here too. These panels, by the way, are resizable, can be hidden. So there are various ways, depending on your screen real estate, to be able to get a maximized viewpoint. And then we also have a full screen mode in terms of being able to see the video playback in full, which is Command and F to be able to get that up. And then you can use the player and watch that through. Specific tools designed to create a very low. In this video, we've had a look at the installation, project creation, and general overview of Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve.